gentlemen, as you all know, our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, has always been very supportive of all our endeavors. He was supposed to be here, but then he sent us a lovely message. So let us find out what he has to say about the economy and ecology.
Namaskar. It gives me immense pleasure to join the distinguished participants at the inaugural session of the 9th Eastern Himalayan Nasoreonomics Forum 2021. I congratulate Balipara Foundation for this great initiative. The discussion on the independence between ecology and economy on this platform is indeed a very timely initiative. Friends, today we are living in a world where climate change and biodiversity loss have emerged as the real challenge to the existence of mankind and nature. The world economy is also greatly affected by climate change and related disaster. A 2020 study of World Economic Forum revealed that over half of the world's total GDP is moderately or highly dependent on nature. This calls for urgent action to reset the relationship between human and nature and also a paradigm of sustainability in each of the development initiative and economic activities. I appreciate the fact that Balipara Foundation, since its launch, has been working to empower the indigenous and forest fringe communities to create sustainable livelihoods. The unrelenting service of the foundation to grow economy in sync with ecology is really commendable. Friends, as you know, the Northeast India is blessed with large variety of natural resources and a very rich biodiversity. In the front of green economy, the Northeast India has a lot to offer. However, recently the growth prospect of the region is significantly challenged by rampant deforestation and loss of biodiversity. I am very happy that this platform has brought together renowned experts, policymakers, and beneficiaries to engage in meaningful discussion on various aspects of environment and its sustainable development. I am confident that the discussion on this platform would result in meaningful suggestions and greatly contribute to enhance the country's agenda of sustainability. Thank you. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.
We thank our Honorable Chief Minister for his very powerful speech and for supporting us at the 9th Balipara Foundation Awards. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, in a very short while from now, we will have the rhythms of Manipur, and to get a taste of magical blend of music and the sounds of nature. The music composition by Rhythms of Manipur, which will have dancing drummers, is a perfect collage of various rhythms and beats of traditional drums, namely Langden, Dolok, Meite Pung, Tane Pung, which is a time indicator drum, plus local made bamboo drums supported by other instruments like flute, pena, violin, local xylophone and gongs. In this composition, you will see the dancers clapping besides playing drums by sticks in various rhythms, steps and beats blended together, the traditional form and modern music to form a unique composition. This music composition is one of its kind in the whole country and has won the prestigious Doordarshan National Award in the music category in the year 2019. I will request all of you to kindly remain seated while we do the setup. So we will just take about a couple of minutes before we start this performance. Thank you. For this mesmerizing performance. Thank you. And as we come to the end of another year of celebrating the Balipara Foundation Awards, we know that this is one more stepping stone towards greater recognition of the power of indigenous and grassroots leaders to protect and manage our biodiversity. Next year, the awards will be taken to the global stage in Dhaka to amplify their stories and their innovation to an international audience looking for stories of hope, change and transformation in a time of climate and biodiversity crisis. And now I'd like to call on stage the founder of Balipara Foundation, Mr. Ranjit Borthakur, to give the closing speech. Please put your hands together for Mr. Ranjit Borthakur as I welcome him onto the stage to give the closing speech.
I think normally after a function like this, after the whole function, I prefer not to speak because everybody is better than you and everybody has occupied your mind space, and I think there's very little time between now and dinner or now and going home. So I do apologize for the delays that took place, but many of them were spontaneous. Many of them were spontaneous delays. So I do apologize for that. There's a transition going on in our own foundation, and what we're trying to do is hand over what we've created over the last 9 years, 10 years, to the younger generation. So Saurav Malhotra has been actually leading this whole thing, and our focus on refinance and rewilding is something that he is leading. But more importantly, the Eastern Himalayan Naturenomics Forum has been totally and entirely led by Karishma. So Karishma, if you come up on stage, because I think you're the person who's done Karishma started as a young trainee actually many years ago, and she now heads this as a profit center, and this whole idea of taking it global We are hoping that one day we will take the Eastern Himalayan Naturenomics Forum and hold it in Davos. We are hoping that it's in the next 5 years. We have a plan for Dhaka. We also want the international side to go to New York and London. So hopefully over the next 3-4 years. We actually seldom sort of debate, but we often question. And we wonder why India cannot actually have a forum which will shape the new globe of naturenomics. If you look at it, the world has actually gone through 4 civilizational stages. One is we were hunter-gatherers and farmers. From hunter-gatherers, farmers, we moved to what is called the age in which energy took over, and that's called the technological age. We are all beneficiaries of the technological age. The technological age has gone into the digital age, and that's again something we are beneficiaries of. This digital age has caused a lot of good and has caused a lot of challenges. So from farming to technology, which was really fueled by energy, and most of the energy was started with steam engines, actually started with very naturally biased engines, has moved on to fossil fuels. And with the fossil fuel came the real challenge of the world. And this real challenge of the world is carbon being one of them. And that's really what we're trying to do, is this net zero. But I think there is a great obsession about net zero. And because the next stage, if all the corporates had to look, okay, so where is the world going to go in 100 years? In the 70s, 80s, when we were in corporates, we used to say, better, brighter, faster, cheaper, more profits. Every quarter has to be more. Are we doing more volume? Are we doing more productivity? That's the mantra. That's the mantra up to digital age. And the digital age of AI and machine learning is actually fine-tuning all of this. And one of the things that Karishma did this time, and I must say that we are part of the digital age, we used a very interesting concept called Air Meet. And Air Meet has been able to actually get us this conference globally. And this is the first time anybody actually in the Northeast has attempted to do such a global conference with 25 countries and 60 participants globally. And Karishma, being a younger person, much younger than me, has been able to show us the new path of how we joined the digital age. So coming back, from the digital age, what will there be? So if it was agriculture, if it was technology, if it was digital, what do you all think is the next revolution? We really believe is the ecological revolution, because the world is going wacko and everybody wants a balance. So the ecological revolution is what we define as the naturenomics revolution, which is nothing but the interdependence between nature and economics. I have actually had a very seminal conversation with all of you today, and I had been very kindly guided by Joanna, who works and is an intellectual within our organization. She is the knowledge bank. So Joanna actually touched upon a very important part. This modern civilization in the agricultural space, when it was moving into technology, was defined by a guy called Adam Smith. So Adam Smith talked about this whole thing of man, material and productivity. And that man, material and productivity led on to many things. But what Joanna and the team have been able to do is to redefine this towards the naturenomics revolution, saying, actually, this is not just the wealth of nation, but it is the natural wealth of nations. There is nobody who's actually calculating what's the natural wealth of nations. So, therefore, when we define progress, the entire progress structure of that age was building more, getting more steel, getting more cement, getting more constructive stuff. Not bad, because that was part of that journey. But if you really look at it, look at Assam. Ever since 1835 when tea came, tea is an extractive technology. People took out and sent away. Then we went into lumber. A lot of it was nothing but plywood. So plywood is a very important thing. Then came jute. So if you look at it, tea, jute, lumber, that means timber, were the 3 big industries that Assam had. Then we went on to oil. So if you really look at it, all the industries are extractive. There was no industry which was not extractive. Many of you may be reflecting and thinking that your own industries are like that. It is true, but that was the nature of times. And all extractive technologies are based where indigenous people are based. All. You know, we did a study of coal, and we did a study of mining in Indonesia, Australia, Canada, South Africa, and India. And we found everywhere, wherever there was minerals like coal, minerals like iron ore, the people who sat on those minerals were indigenous people. In the case of Assam and the Northeast, all these extractive technologies were based on nature. Ever since then, there has been no industry which has been able to stabilize here. But this is our opportunity. If the government looks what is the future in the next 100 years, like the government did last 100 years to extract technologies, they will have to look at the future to say ecological technologies, we are number one. We have the biggest opportunity that is staring us in the face to become the richest in the world for three reasons. One reason is we have the resources to make this revolution happen, because we, as we have seen, as we have talked to Dr. Saikia, who has a wealth of knowledge in terms of the ecological assets that he's done for healthcare, medicine, etc., etc. So we have said that unless you value this, it won't happen. Our revolution for 9 years has been that we need to value nature. That is the only mantra we practice everywhere. Value nature, value nature, value nature. Not the commodity, but nature. So what does nature have? The first one was the economic one. The second one was the social dimension, which is education. The periphery of that is healthcare. And then the other thing was environment. If you don't protect your raw material, how will you have food every day? If you don't have rice in the house, no point in saying you want biryani. No point in saying I will have tenga anja rice, I will have rice pulao, and you will be able to do it because that's your raw material. So you need to guard that raw material to have the progressive delivery over the years. So I think what we are really looking at is having this Eastern Himalayan Naturenomics Conference in a much more focused way. What we have succeeded thanks to our partners, and we've had many partners, most of the partners actually don't even know what we do, but they're very kind. They just give us a check and they tell us do what you want to do. They do see the reports, but they get so many reports, so how does it matter? But actually when you come to the field and they don't do an audit, but come and live with them and see, really, have we made a difference by giving this money? I think all of them will be very proud to know that we, amongst many others, are very diligent about creating good health, good education, and a good life. If you don't do those, there's no impact of trying to actually say that we are going to do social service or we are a CSR unit. The word CSR is actually mistaken. There is no such thing as corporate social responsibility. The very purpose of business is to do social responsibility. There is nothing else for business to do. Business is to do social responsibility through economics, through social, and through environment. And until people internalize this, they will have CSR units, the government will have CSR percentages, everybody will talk about CSR. But corporate social responsibility is the responsibility of every single individual. All of us are corporate socially responsible citizens. And corporations, for one, must lead it. In fact, I must quote, this is not my own line, I've plagiarized it. Mr. G.R.D. Tata, many years ago, actually used this line, saying the very purpose of our business is to see that society improves. Our business is to also make money, but also for societal improvement. And therefore, the ethos of this group has been taken by many. In India, we have many such organizations. So going forward, you all must be wondering why did we write Bangladesh? Why did we have Nepal? Why did we have Bhutan? Why did we have Myanmar? Actually, we have a winner from Myanmar, but we just thought it was politically not correct to announce it at this time. And then we have every single state has been awarded. 9 years running, we have been doing this, trying to bring about a focus with government, with people, because Northeast is mostly governmental leadership, because we do not have private sector other than the technologies that I have said, tea, oil, lumber, and and jute. So my basic direction is that we have to make sure we break all political boundaries and create ecological boundaries. So the second big thing we have succeeded in, other than rewilding at the end of 9 years, that's our only focus. We want to rewild. People think it's growing forests. No, we're not growing trees. We're growing 21 species in one plot of land. Because that is what you want. You want biodiversity. And Professor Dasgupta of Cambridge University and LSE, he basically has come out with the economics of biodiversity. And if you don't have the economics of biodiversity and that leads to value, you won't be able to do it. So we've succeeded in rewilding, but the second thing that we are absolutely doing, we're the first in the world to do it, is called ecological diplomacy. So if you have the Indian Foreign Service for diplomacy here, we are saying that we will create the ecological diplomacy in Eastern Himalayas by actually saying we are interested in the rivers, not the political boundaries. We are interested in river sharing. We are interested in water. We are interested in the 5 fundamentals of nature: land, energy, waste, water, air, and carbon. Why energy? Because nobody wants not to have an air conditioner. Everybody wants the benefit of technology. So therefore, everybody wants a better life, but not at the cost of nature. We want what is called ecological neutrality. So we are going to increase our direction of working with states. We have proposed a Aruna Assam Forest Department. Why? Because the forest along Arunachal, if you don't have a common forestry, we are talking like different countries. We are talking about an India-China cross-border diplomacy on ecology. I have written in the Science magazine, and I was very humbled when they published it, about this issue, about ecological diplomacy. So if we, as people, take leadership, we have to think thought leadership. Why do we need to be on the West? We have to think we've got our entire process of growing up, multi-religion, multicultural, multi-language. The Northeast, very often somebody says is the United States of Assam. Because we have got all this multicultural like United States. It is the USA. So we do not have a division, but we have ecology as a common line. We are moving the EHNF next year, hopefully. We met at the Prime Minister's office in Dhaka and they've welcomed us. We are very fond of it. They've given us 3 assignments. They said, why don't you look at the Sundarbans, look at mangroves, the biggest filter in the world, look at the whole thing of St. Martin's Island, which has got a big issue regarding pollution, paper pollution, plastic pollution, over tourism. And 3 is the Chittagong Hell Tracks. How do we look at reforesting there? There are issues of Rohingya, there is issue of Myanmar, there is issue of political issues. But these are the 3 issues that Balipara Foundation is proud to report. We are also proud to report that this is happening in Nepal. We are also proud to report that this is happening in Bhutan. And we are also proud to report that it will happen in Myanmar, where we started, but due to a reversal in the politics, we've not been able to take it. So we in Balipara Foundation have only 2 focus areas for the next few years. One is rewilding and the downstream industry from there and valuation of it. And 2 is ecological diplomacy. And I'm sure Karishma and Saurav and the leadership of all the young team, there's so many of them, they inspire me. I wish I could continue to inspire them, but I don't think I am. But I do believe that meaning Karishma and the team will continue to inspire us. I must thank my mother, my aunt, my father's sister, and all my family members who've given me this opportunity of a good life to be able to spend some time on ecology. You saw my sister who sort of presented that. I do apologize if there was too much family in it, but I just thought these are real stories, these are action. People want action, people want the real stories, the narrative is about reality. So I did want to say that we're not doing this because we have to either make money, which we don't from this event, or either influence through family thoughts. But we have been inspired by our family, my mother, my father, my sister, and all our relatives to make this happen. But it wouldn't have been possible. That is only 1%. 99% has been contributed by my wife, my daughter, and all you people. Without this, it's not possible. Your attendance, your delivery, the future. And I just believe Karishma and Saurav, wishing you all the best in taking this and making it even better and better than it has been. And thank you for this show. I do realize, I apologize for the technological glitches in the transmission of even Mohua's tape, but I think it was not with any bad intention, but still the delivery is so poor. When a thing like that happens, it's not exactly acceptable to any of us. And so we apologize again for wasting your time to hear something which was not complete, but we'll send a transcript and a printed delivery. So thank you all, good evening and good wishes for the ecological revolution. You all are all part of it now. You all have gone through technology, you've gone through digital. Wait for the ecological revolution. Your children and grandchildren will be the ones taking that forward, and you'll be proud to know that we are the guys in the Northeast who are starting this ecological revolution. Thank you, and over to you, Karishma. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. What an evening. Thank you, everyone, for your presence tonight, in person, as well as each one of you who have joined us today virtually and are watching from different parts of the world. The past 2 days and today with the 9th Eastern Himalayan Naturenomics Forum and the 9th Balipara Foundation Awards 2021, we are truly honored to have the presence of eminent speakers from the corporate world, academics, governments, youth groups, and our conservation friends in the Eastern Himalayas. There's so much to learn from our indigenous communities. Many congratulations to the recipients of tonight's Balipara Foundation Awards. Our vision has been to address ecology is economy, to bring forward the interdependence of social, economic, and environment impacts. And you are the people, the earth heroes, who are making ecology's economy a reality. Once again, a big round of applause to all of you. A sincere thank you to Tata Steel and Tata Steel Foundation for their support over the years and helping us grow with our vision and endeavor. Thank you for being part of this evening and celebrating our earth heroes. Thank you, Wildlife Conservation Trust. Thank you, Hindustan Unilever Limited, Hemendra Kothari Foundation, Tata Consumers Private Limited, all our knowledge partners, IUCN, GSTEC, Conservation International, Wellbeing Economy Alliance, Circular Bioeconomy Alliance, our media partners, NewsX, News Live, Northeast Live, and our radio partner, 92.7 Big FM. This truly wouldn't have been possible without your support. I think, and this also wouldn't have been support like a big round of applause to the entire team of Balipara Foundation, Saurav, Joe, Gautam, Cynthia, Sandeep, my core team. I think this wouldn't have been possible without you guys. Thank you so much. Zenobia, Sneha for coming down all the way from Bombay, plus for always being there whenever, at any point of time. The entire production team, thank you Jyotirmoy, the technical team, Ambarnil, Ankit, thank you for your support. Rabjita, Ashok, Neetu, Rohit, Nilakshi, I'm sorry if I have missed anyone, but also the entire team of Baligaon, our communities with whom we are working in Taraburi, in Udalguri, and I thank you, each one of you. The dinner is served outside, so I would request each one of you to join us for dinner. And also, we apologize for the use of plastic bottles this evening, but this is part of the COVID protocol. Now I request all the recipients of Balipara Foundation Awards 2021 to come on stage and for a photograph. Yeah. Thank you.